Alex Hayden coming to you from Fontana, California for what should be a very fast-paced event. This 2-mile D-shaped low-bank oval has given us some exciting finishes over the years and provides some of the fastest racing on the schedule. Today should be no different. Looks like we're about ready for drivers to start their engines. Let's go trackside to fire them up.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's edition of NASCAR 22 on the channel. And for the second straight day, we will be racing. And only today, we will be racing at the Auto Club Speedway. If we don't get a 2023 version of this game or another new NASCAR game in 2023, this is going to be the last race at Auto Club. But needless to say, though, this is our 5th race of the season on our custom schedule season here for NASCAR 22. Driving as yours truly, Greg Biffle. And not only on top of that, we have 4 different winners in the first 4 races of the year. If you missed last night's stream, spoiler alert, our driver Greg Biffle got his first win of the season. We are by no means locked into the playoffs. We are still well outside the top 20 in points. But we did have a strong day yesterday trying to work ourselves forward. We are in the top 30 now after a very slow start to the season. Finished 40th, 38th, and 40th in the first 3 races. But a win and winning both stages yesterday. Getting the max points day at Bristol was huge to get all 60 points. 7 playoff points yesterday alone, giving us 9 on the season in the first 4 races. So we're scoring a lot of stages, just got to get good finishes, and yesterday we were able to do so. The 4 drivers who do have a win so far this season would be Daniel Suarez winning the Daytona 500, Ryan Blaney winning the 2nd race of the season on a 50% night race at Daytona, which was 80 laps in length. Martin Truex Jr. won the 3rd race of the year at Michigan, and of course, again, Greg Biffle won the Bristol night race yesterday. So this is the 5th race today for the season, and we will see exactly how this is going to go about. So appreciate everybody tuning in. Hit the like button, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content, and let's get going. See who's all in the chat here before I do get things completely started for today's stream. Joshua Rumsey, Davion West, Billy Kramer, Ethan No Torres, Wade Solinsky, 900 horsepower next gen, Jackson Thomas, Seth Valencic, thanks for tuning in, man. Southern Farms, welcome to the stream also. All right, let's take a look at the starting lineup for today's race. You got Justin Haley on the pole. Again, I did not qualify or practice, so we're going to be starting last in today's race, and qualifying was completely randomized. It's not like now where if somehow qualifying gets rained out, they just end up just going off like the metrics for the point standings and whatever. This is just completely random. Justin Haley, who is having a pretty good start to the season, all things considered for Cull Lake Racing, is starting on the pole. Brad Keselowski starting 2nd. He, on the other hand, not having a great start to the season. Kevin Harvick, hometown native, he will be on the inside of row 2. Kyle Busch to his outside, won this race in real life just a week ago. Well, not this race exactly. This racetrack last week. But Austin Dillon, Eric Almirola in row 3, Bubba Wallace and Cole Custer in row 4, and then Tyler Reddick, Kyle Larson in row numero 5. So, I want to see who's all starting at the back of the pack with us. Usually have some big names back there when we do the randomized starting. Well, no, just me. Never mind. Well, Ross Chastain starting 31st, Hamlin 29th, Logano 27th. That's not as far back as I am, but yeah, we'll see. I do not have stability help on today, so this is going to be a challenge. This is a very, very slippy, slidey racetrack. Yeah, it's not hot. I mean, the track temps, I think I have it set for 71 degrees, partly sunny skies, but the track itself, it's so worn out. Cars are going to be all over the place. AI's all over the place as it is on this game. This game sucks, but we're going to try 200 laps of this regardless of the fact, and hopefully we can make it to the end. I'm doing great, by the way, Seth. Hopefully you are too. Good seeing you. virtually, kind of. Not actually being able to see you, but you get the point. Let's see, I was thinking I missed somebody in the chat. No, I didn't. Alrighty. The beard's always looking good, by the way. Never not looking good. Alright. For some reason, even though I'm starting last, I'm technically 39th on the starting grid. But green flag is in the air. We're underway. 65 laps at stage 1. We are racing in Fontana. Oh my gosh, this car feels extremely loose. I forgot what it's like to run an intermediate with no stability help. I wasn't even up to speed yet, and the car felt like it was getting loose on me. This is going to be a handful, I'll tell you. Can't lose the draft, though, in the early going of the race. Look at him fanning out 3, 4 wide. Couldn't tell who it was. Somebody got the wall off turn 2. There's a big checkup going on right now in the front stretch. Biffle just going to go down to the apron. Going to make some passes. And now just going to back way out of the gas. I'll tell you what, as soon as I got out of the throttle, the car just wanted to jump straight right. Even on the straightaway. That scares me, I'm not going to lie. We did make one pass on the opening lap on J.J. Yaley. I do not want to be in that mess up there. I just don't trust. No stability help. All it's going to take is a little bit of contact, and we're going to go right around the 62. There's Noah Gregson on the outside, rookie. Mike George. Thanks for tuning in. Patrick Shadley. Thanks for tuning back into the stream as well. Almost hit the grass. Almost got in the grass. We're good. Yikers. Just chopped my nose off. As soon as Gregson pulled to the inside, just a wall of dirty air pushed this race car right up the racetrack in the center of the corner. There we go. They kind of check up a little more on turns 3 and 4. Timmy Hill going wide off of turn 4, checked up the outside lane. The draft is going to be very important, kind of like we saw in real life. That outside lane off the exit of the corner. Got to get there when you can. Biffle's going to try to move up there. Problem is when you get into the corner, it can be tough to turn if somebody's in the same line in front of you. And when they're side by side like this, there's really nowhere. Well, there is somewhere to go. This track is extra wide, but it's still tough to try to navigate through it. And to have to do this without making any contact is going to be difficult, especially when these tires really start to wear out. Greg Biffle just sent it into the corner, drove it in so deep. Gets the clearance on Timmy Hill. I mean, we're at the 36. Honestly, 4 laps complete, we passed 4 cars. That's a car a lap, that's pretty good. I mean, we're in backmarker equipment. Honestly, if you would have told me we were going to win one of the first 4 races this year like we won last night at Bristol, I would have said you're joking, but that actually happened, so here we are. Big time corner there for Biffle. Got back into the gas really soon. Actually got the car to stick. Oh my gosh, I thought I was going to turn Josh Balicki. He started to go low like he was going to block, and then instead he just went up to side draft BJ McLeod, and Greg Biffle's going to get by both cars on the front stretch. Drives it in deep into turns 1 and 2. He's going to push up the racetrack. Not able to clear AJ Allmendinger, the 16, and here comes the 77 to the bottom. Ty Dillon just scraped the outside wall off of turn 4. He's got back-to-back top 10s coming into the day. 6th and 7th place finishes at Michigan and Bristol. And as you see, of the drivers without a win this season, he has the 4th most points, of which pretty comfortably above the cutoff line, but not off to a good start today. Biffle cleared Dillon. Going to stay in the draft behind Denny Hamlin on the bottom and pulled out of line, trying to get around his own car. 2311 Racing's Kurt Busch. Oh my gosh, I overdrove that corner so terribly. I couldn't have flatlined the entrance to that corner any worse. Well, I probably could have. I could have clipped the apron and just completely washed up the track into the wall, but luckily I was able to catch it. have not ran an intermediate track with no stability help in a really long time. Probably Darlington on the last season in the Southern 500. It has been, if you want to talk about like real time, it's definitely been well over a month. It's been a month or two. And without practice and qualifying, just jumping right into it, just trusting my skills. And that was close because I wasn't sure exactly how far Kurt Busch was coming down there. That was gutsy. That was gutsy. I do not want to run the top, I'll tell you that much. Not unless I absolutely have to later in this race, but right now I am consistent with running the bottom because everybody else is on the top. I'm going to go where everybody's not. That's our strategy. Don't make contact with anybody. 8 laps in, that has been the case. Biffle down to the apron, into the tri-oval. Everybody drafted to his outside, though. They're probably going to get around. Biffle driving it in deep. On the 38 of Gilliland, slides up, and he is clear with the slide job. Kurt Busch, though, with a crossover, going to get around both the 44 and the 38. Moving himself up to 30th. Everybody's going to have to pit at some point in this first stage. I'm curious if they're going to have to pit twice just because of... Oh boy, we're down on the apron in 3 and 4. Luckily, that's an actual line. Turns 1 and 2, on the other hand, I don't want to hit the apron, but 3 and 4... It was okay. Still 3 wide on the front stretch right now. Cody Ware on the outside trying to hang on. Chris Buescher in the 17 down in the middle lane. Biffle touches the white line. You can see the car wiggle as soon as that happened. Had to catch it up the racetrack. Buescher's going to get underneath him now. 51 of Cody Ware was able to clear. Biffle trying to get as much draft off the 51. This car is fishtailing on the back straightaway through the bumps. It is... It almost feels more stable in the corners, believe it or not. I don't know how that is possible, but... Oh my gosh. Don't want anybody to get me arrow loose either. You know, Cody Ware didn't touch me. A lot of lane changing going on in the tri-oval and a lot of slower speeds for a lot of different drivers. Biffle down low underneath Stenhouse, making the dive bomb! Hard on the brakes into turn 1. Almost made contact with Chase Elliott, who himself tried to make a pass to the inside of the 21 of Harris Burton. Couldn't clear him. I had to get on the brakes a lot harder that time. I am not moving the car back and forth intentionally on the straightaways. I'm touching the analog stick just a little bit too much, and it's so sensitive on the back stretch. Front stretch, it's fine. I wonder if that's because there's banking there. So it's kind of holding the car on its own. On the straightaways, I feel like I'm about to hit the wall or something. I want to get as much draft as I can on the outside where everybody's at, but I'm scared I'm going to get in the wall one of these times. Hit a bump in the wrong spot or something. Got to go up and block the run from behind as well from Hamlin. Autism Trucking, thanks for tuning in. And the Biff passing Chase Elliott. Elliott pulling out of line. Biffle with the block. Slowly getting his way through. Now, Biffle had really good speed at Michigan 2 races ago on a 2-mile oval. He doesn't seem quite as fast today at Auto Club, but he's slowly making his way through traffic. I just don't know what this car is going to handle like on the long run. Waiting to see about where we are when we get to halfway on fuel and what lap we'll be at, and then I'll decide on exactly when I want to pit, because I'll definitely want a short pit because you can gain a lot of track position with that here on this surface that is, what, 26 years old? Well, I guess 2022 would have been 25, but still, I mean, it's 25, 26 when you get that old. It's similar contact. Biffle sideways, 34 up the track a little bit. Biffle holds on to it. Getting into Michael McDowell, and that frees up the bottom lane for Eric Jones to try to make a pass on Biffle. I almost got in the wall there. On the back straightaway as well. Really fishtailed up the track. Biffle going to have to run the outside through 3 and 4. It's not something he really wanted to do. Car bobbing and weaving through the bumps now in the center of the corner. Denny Hamlin tags him just a bit. Biffle's still trying to catch the car about halfway down the front stretch. Come on, don't overcorrect it. Oh my gosh. This is, I'll tell you what, this is intense. I highly recommend, do not try this at home, kids. Do not try no stability help on this track and start at the rear of the field with no practice or qualifying. Oh my god. We're only 15 laps in. It feels like I'm 50 laps on these tires already. This is a terrible idea. Not to mention, this is a 100% race on top of it. I think when I had to get on the brakes really hard a couple laps ago when Chase Elliott threw a block on me, I kept from running into the back of him. I think that really burnt out the right rear tire. And that's probably why the car's getting this loose this early in the run. That and just having to pass like 16, 17 cars. Oh my gosh. It's so free in the middle off. It turns in fine. But then once I catch the center of the corner, it just wants to slide sideways all the way up towards the wall. That's why I'm entering so low into the corner. I don't know if I'm going to hold on to it all the way to the end of the run. I'm not going to lie. We haven't had too many cautions this season in the first 4 races for incident. So you can probably get away with short pitting, I'd like to imagine. I really hope. So loose off of turn 2. Had to lift. Biffle's definitely holding these guys up. Denny Hamlin's pulled away about a second in front of him. There's nobody for Biffle to draft off of in front of him down these longer straightaways at this track either. There's a slide sideways in the middle of the corner. You can see the rear tires really chattering. I'm thinking of pitting soon, honestly. Pitting, and I don't know what we can do adjustment-wise, but we have to do something because there's no way I'm gonna make it to the end of the fuel run. I mean, we're only halfway through it. Really have to manage your tires. Oh my gosh. I had to lift off turn 2. Which obviously costs a lot of speed. Chase Elliott getting blocked. Kurt Busch getting by on the outside. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. trying to get by as well. Whoa, man, Biffle almost well, he did overcorrect it off turn 4, but then recorrected it back in the right direction before it ended up going up towards the wall. Yeah, I've got to make this thing tighter. we got to put some wedge in it. I have not driven a more loose race car in this game. I did not blow a tire, thank God. It was about time I hit the wall. I knew that was going to happen. We're going to go one more lap. We're going to take it to even lap 20, and then we're going to pit. We're going to put a round and a half of wedge into the car to try to help tighten it up. And we'll go from there. I'm just going to make this a 2-stop stage, honestly, because pitting now, I don't know if I'll be able to make it to the end of the stage, and I don't even think I want to try to go 40 laps on fuel, honestly, on tires. So Greg Biffle will pit this time. Got up to 24th and lost a couple spots, but you can definitely tell he was not keeping up with the pack anymore after a little bit. So he is going to take on some fresh tires. Got to get it down to the bottom of the track. He will pit this time. Hit the wall once, but outside of that, though, he is going to make it to his first stop. Pit road speed limit, I believe, is, I want to say 55. I'm not entirely sure. But Biffle is in. 4 tires and fuel. Round and a half of wedge going into the car to help tighten it up. Oh my gosh. I don't know how we made it. We made it through the first stop. 2-mile eggshells? Oh yeah. Oh man. I don't know how I didn't make contact with a single car that whole run. Oh, I did, actually. I made contact with Michael McDowell that one time. And I got in the wall once on the backstretch. But that was it. I'm lucky not to blow a tire when I hit the wall, too. There's a little bit of damage on the right front. It's not that bad. I mean, the nose is fine, so that's the big thing. So Greg Biffle's going to be a lap down. Should get up to speed before the rest of the leaders make their way through. Sure not to spin the tires coming out of the pits. He's got plenty of room behind him. Good news is he's going to have clean air so he can take care of his tires a little bit more. And you got to hope that this round and a half of wedge going into the race car is going to help. So not only he's got the clean air, but he's got the freshest tires in the field by 20 laps. So he's going to be the fastest car on track for now. It'll be interesting to see where he cycles. Honestly, considering they could probably go pretty close to about 35, 40 laps on fuel. If they try to stretch it all the way to the end of the fuel run, I think Biffle's going to be pretty good shape to get out towards the lead. We're gonna catch this pack at a high rated speed. Just gotta save these rear tires. Easier said than done. Earl Arnold Jr., thanks for tuning in. Duh. It's tough to tell interval-wise exactly how far we are behind the 39th place car. Now again, Biffle is a lap down. Car's definitely tighter. Still floating down the straightaway, which scares me for the long run still. I mean, if I have to pit every 20 laps, I have to pit every 20 laps, honestly. Whatever gets us to the end of this race in one piece. I mean, that's the big thing here. If we can get some points along the way, bonus, but I don't expect anything too extraordinary here. Car feels good in clean air. I mean, there we go. Just get to the lead and I'll be fine. Get to the lead. I'll be good to go. 3 wide at the back of the pack. Right in the middle of turns 3 and 4. Just got to rely on everybody keeping it clean enough to stay green throughout the rest of this run. Because Biffle does not need a caution to get trapped a lap down with short pitting at lap 20. Honestly, a 2-stop strategy isn't the worst thing in the world. It is a 2-mile track. That's the one thing that scares me. 1.5 miles with this kind of wear and tear, that'd be one thing. Even like Darlington, we see drivers do it and teams do it, but that's got to be tough though when you stretch it out to a fast 2-mile oval like this. But Biffle's going for it. And he is blocked off because they're 3 wide right in front of him. Was on the brakes for a little bit of a long time. Not that he jammed the brakes necessarily, but was just kind of dragging the brakes a little bit. Casey Kane fan, welcome into the stream. I heard about the comments Kyle Petty made of Ryan Blaney. He's not completely wrong, and this is coming as a Ryan Blaney fan. I don't know about Casey Kane being somebody compared to Ryan Blaney personally, because Casey Kane wasn't consistent. Ryan Blaney is super consistent, and I'm trying to think of somebody who you could compare Ryan Blaney to, and I don't even know if there really is one. It's kind of an enigma. I mean, He wins about a race a year on average, except for 2021 where he won 3 races. Last year he didn't win a points race, but he did win the All-Star race. So, I mean, you can pretty much bank on him winning pretty much a race a year. But his consistency is what gives him a shot at the championship every year and a reasonable, chance at it. Versus Casey Kane, granted, some of it was the points format, NASCAR was in at the time. If they had the playoff format now, maybe Casey Kane would be held to higher regards than what he actually is, as far as competing for championships, because he could win a couple races on a season. But he didn't have any consistency. He only had like 1 or 2 top 10 points finishes his whole career. And Blaney's already had more than that, and far less years than Casey Kane had in the Cup Series. So I don't I wouldn't say he's the best driver to compare to, but as far as his comments about Blaney having a lot of hype and just doesn't do anything, I could agree to a certain extent, honestly. Yeah, rear tires are still wearing out a little bit more. It's not as bad as it was. He's already gone 10 laps. It was right at about the 15 lap mark where it really started to go awry. Contact with Cole Custer, that is going to burn the tires off too. See, that's a mistake we didn't need. Somehow, some way, Greg Biffle hangs on to the race car. Had to downshift to catch the car that time. Yeah, that burned out the rear tires just a little bit extra. The car feels fine now, but I'm going to be paying for it in about 5 laps. That's about what happened the last time. I'd say I even got more loose that time than what I did with Chase Elliott earlier. Biffle's almost already unlapped himself. It's going to be nice to get through everybody before they pit, also. I don't know about Casey Kane being a champion. Nope. He was in Hendrick Motorsports equipment there. Mark Martin made that team he was a championship competitor. Casey Kane didn't run anywhere near consistent enough to be able to do that. That was really Casey Kane's biggest thing. He was definitely competitive enough to win 3-4 races a year. He had the speed to do it. I don't even know what happened there. Biffle is around on the back straightaway. The car just broke free. Caution flag is out. And now Biffle's going to get trapped a lap down because of the yellow. That's what I mean, where it was floaty down the straightaways, and it was floaty down the back straightaway that time, and it just completely took a turn to the right. It almost looked like I did that on purpose. How do you get loose on the straightaway? That mind boggles me. That's gonna hurt the soul of everybody in the chat, including myself. Yeah, so we're involved in the wreck there. I usually don't take fuel or tires, but my tires were already shot before. So, I'm a lap down. So, we're going to have to unlap ourselves before the end of the stage somehow anyway. And we'll be able to make it on fuel to the end of this race. Or to the end of the stage, not the end of the race. Everybody else is on pit road, so yeah, we're going to be a lap down. Wow. Well, the good news is Biffle's on the front row. The bad news is he's a lap down. Green flag back in the air. I'm surprised the car doesn't have more damage than what it probably should. The green flag is back in the air. He's going to have to try to go to the end of the stage without pitting because he is barely on the lead lap technically. Kevin Harvick getting into the lead on Justin Haley, who still has track position after qualifying on the pole. Caden Spears, 6 for 2 did. Harvick to the outside. Well, we'll get to see what kind of speed Greg Biffle has. Is it race winning speed or not? Everybody pitted during that caution. Biffle trying to make this lap up. Well, he's going to be out of the head of the leaders for one lap. Kevin Harvick out in front. Austin Dillon now creeping into the picture. Dillon looking to the inside of Biffle. He's going to get there. And Biffle just completely missed the marks that corner. On the outside. Come on, car. It's so floaty on the straightaways. It's so much worse in traffic on the straightaways, too. I think that's part of the problem. Why is BJ McLeod in 6th? Who gave him... Penske give him one of their engines this week? Last guy I was expecting to try to pass me. Now, the bad news is Greg Biffle's just gotten passed by these leaders already. I think I'm slower compared to the leaders with this adjustment. Putting that extra wedge into the car. As long as these guys keep battling for the lead up here inside the top 5, I think Biffle still has a chance to get back on the lead lap. Picking Harvick to win Phoenix. It's not a bad pick. It's not a bad pick at all. 3 wide for the lead. Turns 3 and 4. I believe it's Tyler Reddick and the 8 car. Passing his teammate Austin Dillon and trying to get by Bubba Wallace as well. Biffle 3 wide underneath Harvick and Haley as well. Down into turn 1. This is going to get interesting. Biffle's going to have to push hard to the very end of this stage. He's got no choice. Needs to get this lap back before the end of the stage or he's going to be a lap down to start stage 1. He's going to pit during the stage break regardless, but everybody else might pit during the stage break too, so that's why he needs to get his lap back, and then he's right back to where he started the race in last, but at least he'll be on the lead lap. He's the only car lap down right now. Couldn't quite get by Kevin Harvick that time through turns 3 and 4. He's going to have to drift up to the outside. Keselowski actually just passed Haley for 5th. Harvick's got a massive run in the draft behind Bubba Wallace, getting down into turns 1 and 2. Side by side for the lead between the Richard Childress Chevrolets of Austin Dillon, Tyler Reddick once again. I can't stand the draft on the back straightaway. I mean, I've hit the wall twice already. Well, 3 times if you count the wreck. Hit the wall 3 times on the back stretch because it's so floaty. I don't know how I haven't blown a tire every single time, too. Front stretch I can. It's got stability in the front stretch, not the back stretch. Harvick back into 3rd. He got by Bubba Wallace. Dillon going for the lead again on Reddick. We'll see if he'll get it this time. He's a lot closer to clearing him in the center of the corner. We have 21 laps to go right now in the stage. We'll stand in the draft behind Wallace on the backstretch this time. He's going to make a huge dive bomb going into turns 3 and 4. 3 wide underneath of Austin Dillon, Kevin Harvick. Reddick, the leader, is out there. Biffle slides in line between Harvick and Austin Dillon. Wallace trying to make a pass on Harvick. That slows him up enough to keep him behind Biffle. And now Biffle's just got to get by the RCR boys. Crypto, welcome into the stream. A lot of bottom into turns 3 and 4. Biffle, all 4 tires down to the apron. Gets by Austin Dillon. Pulls to the inside of Tyler Reddick. He is not going to be able to clear, though, off turn 4, and they're going to use the draft to their advantage Oh no, Dylan actually goes with Biffle. That kept him in it. Might have a shot to get by Reddick in turns 1 and 2. Nope, Reddick goes down blocks. Biffle wasn't expecting that. Still stays in front of Dylan off the exit of turn 2. Can the tires hold on for 19 more laps to keep some sort of pace of the drivers he is racing for with position? He needs to make sure he doesn't make contact and burn out the rear tires this time. So close to clearing Reddick again, but he's just not quite there. He'll stay off of him. He was ahead of him at the start-finish line. He doesn't have to clear him. He just has to beat him to the line when it does count. Just that one caution earlier today for that wreck on the backstretch, and that's it. Reddick dropped in line behind Biffle going into turn 1, trying to protect on Harvick, who is now in second. Bubba Wallace to third, so Austin Dillon, I believe, has fallen back to fourth. Biffle breaking the draft, going down to the bottom. He'll protect the inside into turn 3. Reddick to the top. It's going to give him a run off the exit of turn 4. Martin Truex Jr. out of nowhere is in contention now, up to third. A lot of the drivers at the front of the field right now are drivers who have not won yet this season. Biffle not going to get any stage points in stage 1. He's going to run the outside as Reddick got underneath, and Biffle's just too tight to run the top. Too tight with this setup. He was able to run the top earlier before he put the round and a half of wedge into the car. And that little wall scrape's going to slow him down as well. On the back straightaway. Got tight in turns 3 and 4 again because he's on the top still, and now he's getting brake trained. It was a good move by Reddick to get underneath Biffle when he did. Still got time to get it back. It's nice to know a half speed. Just got to get this lap back for the end of the stage. There's no free pass in this game, so even though we're the first and only car lap down, we will not get our lap back at the end of the stage the way it is now. No matter how hard Biffle pushes, he's got to think big picture though, and he has to make sure he doesn't make contact with another car. He scraped the wall already, but that's been about it. Sailed it way too deep into turns 3 and 4 on the outside. Suarez gets by. He was hanging on the inside lane going into the corner. Biffle tried to give him as much room as he could. Now Alex Bowman in the 48s underneath Biffle. Biffle going down to draft behind Bowman. He had a chance to stay there, and Justin Haley just got his nose underneath the 44, and Biffle has to stay on the outside again. This is not looking good. I mean, we have time, but we have a lot of cars to pass now, and we still just, I cannot get to the bottom. And my car turned right going into turn 3 because it wants to float up the track on the straightaways. And that's going to cost us even more time. I mean, we might as well just sacrifice this stage at this point. No chance in hell I'm getting up there in 14 laps. This is a mess. This is not where I want to be. This is nuts. We're moving. 3 wide to the top. Oh, got into Blaney. Blaney hangs on. Still 3 wide on the top for Biffle. Keselowski moved up in front of him. Big bump trap to the 6. Luckily, he hit him square. Both cars hang on. That gives both cars a launch. Down into turns 1 and 2. Biffle underneath. Can't pass him. Drives is so deep into turns 3 and 4. Should have moved up quicker. Still got in front of Brad. Could have been a lot closer to Haley getting into turn 1 though. Biffle has to block Chastain to the bottom. As soon as he did, the car moved up and into the wall he goes. Everybody gonna miss him to the inside. I literally swerved down to block Chastain and my car swerved right back to the outside. The car floats on the back straightaway so much that I can't keep control. I mean, there's no chance for me to keep control. Why did I not use stability health for this race? I literally do it every intermediate track for this race. This track, though, it's even worse. But I think it's just because of the old surface kind of amplifies it. Well, we're still a lap down. Now we have damage. I didn't have too much damage before. I have damage now. There's no way, there's no setup I can do, no adjustments I can make throughout the course of this race to make the car not want to turn right on the back straightaway. There's nothing I can do. I mean, because if I tighten it up, I think it's only going to make it worse, but if I loosen it up, we saw how bad it was mid-corner after about 20 laps in the last stage. You just have to deal with it. It just sinks when you're in traffic. Biffle's got damage. He does have fresher tires. Tail end of the field here. Maybe there's a chance he can get back to the lead lap for the end of the stage. I don't think it's going to be possible with only 6 to go, but you never know. He's definitely going to go for it. He got nothing to lose here. I mean, I could end up DNFing already a lap down. Passed a lot of cars with these fresher tires on the restart. About 16 of them there. He went 4 wide to the apron into turns 3 and 4. It panned out. Still has decent speed despite... I mean, just looking at the mile per hour going into turns 1 and 2 in the draft. It's not terrible. Eric Jones slid up the track. He got really loose. That bogs down the middle lane a little bit more. Biffle just protecting the bottom so he can take the inside again into turns 3 and 4. We'll have 4 to go in the stage this time by. Chastain pulls clear of Michael McDowell. Biffle getting a little bit of a draft off Ryan Blaney in the 12. Not a big hole in the bottom to go this time. Chastain drifts wide in the middle of the corner. Biffle gets around him and Blaney. Be interested if they pit during the stage break or not. Biffle still has a chance. Get back on the lead lap. Had 2 cautions in this stage, but he is going strong still. And he has closed this gap, but we have just 3 laps to go. I believe Martin Truex Jr. is currently the race leader. Biffle slides in line right between Bell and Suarez. He still has a chance to get back on the lead lap before the end of the stage. I didn't think it was possible, but there is a chance. It's going to be a lot harder to pass the cars at the front of the field, though. So Bell moving down. Biffle went even lower, just trying to make sure that he wasn't going to have any contact with Bell. Big dive into turns 3 and 4. It'll work. He'll get to the inside of Harvick, who is in second. I don't think he's going to clear him, though, with Truex on the outside in front of Harvick. A little bit of drafting help. 2 laps to go. Stage 1. Greg Biffle to the inside of the second place car of Kevin Harvick. Truex slides up just a little bit in the middle of 1 and 2. And Greg Biffle back on the lead lap. Now just has to stay there. I'm staying away from that wall. It's going to hurt me on the straightaways because of not having any draft. I mean, when I'm the leader, I guess it doesn't matter as much. It probably actually helps when I'm the leader because it's going to break the draft from the cars behind us. Fresher tires will prevail. Greg Biffle will be on the lead lap to start the next stage. It is the final lap of stage 1 behind him. And we'll be right back to where we started, which is in last place. But I could pit during the stage break and take fresh tires. I'm definitely pitting. I'm going to pit under every single caution in this race. Because tires matter so much. I don't care what the rest of the field does. We got to play our own strategy in this one. Just to survive. Stage over. Martin Truex Jr. has won Stage 1 at Auto Club. And Greg Biffle will finish last. No stage points, but at least we got our lap back. Everybody will be on the lead lap to start stage number 2. Stage points look like this. You got Martin Truex Jr. winning the stage. And I will check real quick, but I believe that is the first stage win of the year. Yep, first stage win of the season for Martin Truex Jr. Does have one race win. That'll be his 6th playoff point of the season now. Tally that up for him. Alright, alright, alright. So there's that. Kevin Harvick ends up finishing 2nd in the stage. Tyler Reddick in 3rd. Christopher Bell 4th. 5th place. Ross Chastain, Austin Dillon in 6th. Daniel Suarez in 7th. 8th place, Bubba Wallace 9th. Chase Elliott, Alex Bowman rounds out the top 10 in stage numero 1. There we go. Let's get on with stage 2. I'm pitting. 4 tires, fuel. No adjustments. And we'll see. Hungry One, thanks for tuning into the stream also. Oh, there's a lot. I think there's a lot more options in this game. The problem is they don't all work. Work the way you want it to. Green flag back in the air. I think Greg Biffle is the only car that pitted during the stage break, so he's got fresher tires to start the stage. Which means he's going to try to get his way through the field. Hopefully before everybody pits. Needs to take care of his tires. Can't make contact with anybody. Can't have any big loose moments. Tires are of the utmost importance today. We got a couple cars spinning in turn 4 to the outside. Brad Keselowski was one of which. I don't know if the leaders got to the start-finish line or not. They did not, so we will still be on the lead lap. And we have our 3rd caution for incident. Count the stage break that we had moments ago. That's our 4th caution of the race. Green flag back in the air. We didn't get a full lap in, so that's why I didn't pit there. Simultaneous spin. Luckily, the leaders didn't get to the start-finish line. All 40 cars still on the lead lap. Have to be pitting sometime soon. There's contact with Denny Hamlin. Biffle holds on. They're wrecking again off turn 4 back behind. The race leaders get to the start-finish line. Caution. We're a lap down. Caution is out, and we are 1 lap down. Man, I don't know what that was. I had no control of that. 15th, green flag back in the air. Problem is we are a lap down due to a scoring glitch. I don't know exactly how many cars are on the lead lap. Biffle still has fresher tires than everybody else. And he's taking advantage of it. I think they're wrecking because they're trying to pit at the back of the field and they're just not able to pit. 2 wrecks off turn 4 both times. Biffle going for it. 4 wide down to the bottom in turns 3 and 4. He wants to get up here with the leaders in case we get another caution. Off the exit of turn 4. He's going to clear him. He's scored in 9th right now, so only the top 8 are on the lead lap. Will we get a caution? We do not. We stay green. What a restart, though, for the Biff. So, we got that lap back at the end of stage 1, just ended up losing it due to a scoring glitch on the second caution of stage 2. Biffle has the freshest tires still in the field right now, and waiting on everybody else to hit pit road. And we will end up getting back on the lead lap as a result. And all of them pitting right now, they will still have to pit before the end of the stage. We know Biffle will have to pit at some point. Burn a lot of fuel under caution, so we might be able to actually get closer to the end of the fuel run this time. Waiting for all the leaders to pit. This is going to give Biffle clean air also, and I wonder if he can cycle back to the lead after all this is said and done. No matter what, there are only 8 cars on the lead lap. There will be 9 on the lead lap, actually, considering Biffle just passed the leader. So 9 cars on the lead lap due to a scoring glitch in the early going of stage 2. This could lock Biffle into some stage points in the second stage after getting none in stage 1. That'd be big. A topsy-turvy first half of this race so far. 80 laps complete. And Greg Biffle will take the race lead for the first time today. They're going to try to run him down on a little bit fresher tires. He's only got maybe 2 or 3 laps on his tires. If you count the 2 restart laps, about 5 laps on his tires. That does make a difference at Auto Club. But he should be far enough ahead. As long as he is in the lead, when he has to make his stop, he's going to have a very good chance of winning this stage. How far can we push it is the next question. The furthest, the better, because that would leave less laps that we'd have to run to the end of the stage. Kevin Harvick in 4th place just up ahead, by the way. So Greg Biffle's pretty far out ahead of the leaders right now. Reddick in 5th, second car behind him, about 2.5 seconds back. They were on pit road for an awfully long time, especially for a 2-mile track. We're going to alternate through the different camera angles for the first time in the race today. Hopefully that goes well. I have my hopes. Right, just past Bubba Wallace. Ball's back to 22nd. Overdrive into turns 1 and 2 there by Biffle. He clipped the apron, went all the way up the racetrack. Kept it off the wall, thankfully. Just has to be patient. He's not racing those guys for position back there. If they catch him, I think you just got to let him go if you're Greg Biffle. Keep this clean air advantage you got working for you right now. Just kind of go from there. Especially with those drivers being in a pack like this. 3 cars are closing in very fast on Greg Biffle. Biffle wanted to block the bottom on Cindric. They're going to split him 3 wide. That is not what I wanted. 3 wide going into turn 3. I was going to just go to the bottom and let them go to the outside, but Cindric had other thoughts. and ended up taking the race leader 3 wide, as well as the 5th place car. Cindric in 32nd. He's a couple laps down with all this going on. Oh, that was not me. Cody Ware just drove right into the side of Greg Biffle getting into turn 1. Somehow Greg Biffle held on to his car. Feel fishtailing at the end of the backstretch again. Rear tires are shot after that slide with the contact from Cody Ware. Really need to take this run as far as we can here. Biffle letting everybody on pressure tires get back around him. It's alternating pit strategy here in stage 2. Definitely going to make for an interesting stage, to say the least. Suarez in 6th, Chase Elliott 7th, Alex Bowman 8th. $23 likes on the stream. Appreciate everybody that has hit the like button so far. Subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Also, if you have not already, hit the like. See if we can get over 50 likes on the stream again like last night. Pacing-wise, we're pretty close. Kyle Busch, by the way, all over the back of Greg Biffle. Continues to lead. Biffle trying to keep his car on the bottom. Wasn't sure if they were 3 wide to his outside. I don't think they were. Just trying to keep this thing as tight to the bottom as possible. A little bit of clearance behind him with BJ McLeod. Eric Almirola, Corey LaJoie all racing each other. Harrison Burton in the mix back there as well. Still have... So stage 2 is 65 laps just like stage 1. So the final stage will be 70 laps. Literally the same split that we had at Michigan 2 races ago. Greg Biffle on older tires right now, just trying to limp this thing as far as he can. He's only got a quarter of the fuel run left, so ideally take this as far as you can, pit, and just hope you can last on tires the next run as well. I mean, he probably only has to go another 7, 8, 9 laps. And he still has the lead, which means when he pits, he's going to have fresher tires than everybody else. The longer he can go now, the fresher the tires he'll have once he does hit pit road. It was so crucial for him to just make it to the end of this stage. Or not to the end of the stage, but just to the end of the fuel run, and then go to the end of the stage after that. Greg Biffle's got a good chance to win Stage 2. It'd be the 4th consecutive race with a stage win if he can win this stage. It's a heck of a streak, honestly. With no stage points at Stage 1, that would be so huge to get stage points here at Stage 2. Chastain having another poor performance. 31st. He finished last yesterday at Bristol. Yeah, stability help, it's still a handful. I agree with you. Chastain down to the inside. His car's floaty on the back straightaway again. Luckily able to catch it. Denny Hamlin in the 11's got a little bit of damage on his FedEx Toyota, as well as this number 44 Chevrolet for Greg Biffle. Family scored 34th right now. Remember, there were only 8 drivers on the lead lap. There was a scoring glitch early in Stage 2 with a caution. We had 2 cautions right away in Stage 2 without getting more than 1 green flag lap in. And that second of which was what trapped the field a lap down from 9th on back. We were 9th on back when it happened, so that's why we were a lap down, and that's why we're off strategy trying to make this time back up, because it's the only way to even finish on the lead lap at the end of Stage 2. And we might actually have a long shot of winning this stage, all things considered as well. 36 laps to go still in Stage 2 as we sit. It's the first time Greg Biffle has led all day today. With not being in one giant pack, that really helps Greg Biffle try to nurse this race car, knowing he doesn't have to push. He's really trying to take care of his tires, make it to the end of a fuel run for the first time today. And then he can take on some fresh tires and just continue to manage. Even though he'll be faster than everybody else, just continue to manage. Don't put yourself in an uncompromised position where you're going to make contact and burn up those tires because of having to get a little loose and trying to catch the race car. Just cannot have that. Objective number 1 is to finish Stage 2 on the lead lap, and we'll end up finishing in the top 8 as a result. Objective number 2, if we do finish on the lead lap, go for the win, but we got to get there first. We also have to hope we can make it halfway through the stage on fuel. We're probably going to have to go this long on tires the next time also, which is scary. I think whatever happens at the end of the stage, if I'm leading, the leaders are running me down. If they get there, they get there. I can't battle them. If I do that, I'll wreck. Because I almost wrecked on my own on the back. No! 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 I got a tire down. Get to the bottom. Get to the bottom. No! 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 Don't slide in the grass. Don't. No! No! Come on, get out of there. The left rear tire's down. Why? Well, it looks like we're pitting now. It broke loose for the 3rd time today in the middle of the back straightaway. And Greg Biffle has blown a left rear tire as a result. Oh my gosh, and we stay green. So close to pit road. Gotta get there. We're gonna lose that entire lap. Oh no, don't do this! No! God bless America. Come on. Come on. We're so close to the pits. There, game, take over. Jesus. That was a train wreck. Well, that was the worst thing that could have happened. We're going to be lucky to finish on the lead lap at the end of the stage now. I mean, we're going to gain some time back on these fresher tires, but Jiminy Christmas. That was the worst thing that could have happened. So Biffle has had problems. Car, come on. Steady. Steady. I think we're 2 laps down. Christopher Bell's in 2nd. We're going to have to go to the end of the stage on these tires. I think we're gonna finish a lap down. We're gonna get one of our laps back here very quick on these fresh tires. They're probably gonna go right, or they're probably gonna pit around lap 50 if I had to guess. I mean, wow. Of all things. I had a bad feeling that was going to happen. We literally only had to make it like, what, 2-3 more laps? We were so close to the end of the run. That felt like an eternity. The fact that we're still not in last place after that. So we're 2 laps down, 31st. This car's got pretty significant damage. As you can see, straightaway speed is likely going to be down. We're not in the draft. Going about 188. I don't know what we were doing without draft before. So, I mean, if we get to the lead lap at the end of the stage, bonus, we have to be 1 lap down at the very least. Because, I mean, we can still get a top 10 finisher. There are only 8 cars on the lead lap. Here's Christopher Bell. He's been side by side with McDowell for a little bit. That's slowing him up. Greg Biffle, much fresher tires. Oh, my bad. Bell and Truex 3 seconds ahead. They're nose to tail. Truex won stage 1. He's trying to go for his 2nd win of the season already. And Bell trying to go for his 1st. Punch is taken to the playoffs. They are catching up to some pretty heavy lap traffic at the front of the field. About another lap or 2, and Greg Biffle is going to get to the 20 and the 19. Tires had other ideas. Yes, they did. Tires have mind of their own. Well, if you're just tuning in, we're halfway home. 100 laps down, 100 to go at Auto Club. Stage 2, we currently have 30 laps left in this stage. But Greg Biffle 2 laps down after a spin and no caution under green flag conditions. There are only 8 cars on the lead lap due to a scoring glitch early in the stage. Greg Biffle looking to get one of those 2 laps back right now. He'll make the other lap back up when everybody pits to get back in the lead lap, but he will not cycle back to the lead, which is where he was at when that wreck happened. But we did stay green. So it's going to play out naturally as a result. Biffle really trying to take care of his tires right now. Just letting the car do its work. He knows he's got fresher tires than everybody else, so he'll catch him. And depending on Bell, Truex, when they catch the back of this lap traffic, here goes Biffle on fresher tires to the bottom. There's 1 lap back. They get held up behind these guys. This could be big for them. Yeah, I mean, fresh tires, it floats up the track. It's just so much... It does it so much more, obviously, when the tires are older. Remember those passes for position anywhere on track either. Not sure who's in 30th right now. That would be for position for Biffle to pass. There's Kyle Larson. Wait a minute, I think we were 3 laps down. Because Larson... Okay, now I'm confused, because there were only 8 cars on the lead lap on the restart. That's the 10th place car right there. You would think if we were 1 lap down, that would have been for position. So in that whole deal where we ended up wrecking on the backstretch, no caution, we were stuck in the grass for a minute with a blown left rear tire. Luckily, we were able to get out of the grass. But yeah, we're 2 laps down. We were 3 down. We got 1 lap back. Now we're 2 down. We'll make a lap back up once everybody pits again. But yeah, we're not even going to be on the lead lap at the end of stage 2. That just sucks. Well, so now I don't get a lap back yet. I'm going to have to be aggressive at the end of the stage then. I'm still taking care of my tires right now, but we're going to have to play just a little bit of defense if the leaders try to put me a second lap down for the end of the stage. We have to finish 1 lap down at all costs. Light bump in the middle of the corner to the back of Noah Gregson. Clear. That did not help the rear tires at all. These are the first 2 cars a lap down, actually. Byron, a lap down. Blaney should be on the lead lap. If you win Auto Club, you'll dedicate to me. I appreciate that. Yep, nope. That, I mean, great save. After the contact, that did us in. There is no way we're making it to the end of this stage without wrecking again. I drove it in deep. I knew he was going to cut down. He was widening his apex off quite a bit getting into the corner. And I still drove it in deep regardless of the fact, trying to get around him as quick as I could on these fresh tires. I should have just waited a bit longer for him to go back up the track like he did there. That's all I had to do the lap before, and that wouldn't have happened. And I would have already been about a second ahead of him by now. And my tires wouldn't be as shot. So Greg Biffle 2 laps down. I'm really hoping they go a lot longer before pitting. If they can make it like 5 to 10, closer to 5 laps to go in the stage, then they only have 5 laps to try to run me back down. So they'll end up pitting twice in the final stage again. If we're 1 lap down and we only have to pit once, it's going to be a 1-stop strategy for Greg Biffle and 2-stop strategy for everybody else. That would be the game plan. On a 1-stop strategy, we can make up a lap and hope for the best, because we'll pit during the stage break. We'll have to pit during the final stage once. They won't pit during the stage break, and they'll have to pit during the final stage twice. So that will be where the difference is going to come in. Considering we are 2 laps down right now, we would have Do my math correctly here. 17 laps to go in stage 2. We're going to have to run 16 laps because we'll get a lap back. If you look at the tire wear indicator, you can really see that right rear tire absolutely fading away on this 44 of Greg Biffle. It has been a rough start to the season outside of the win last night at Bristol. It has been a rough night going for Greg Biffle again today. 31st, finished last in stage 1, barely on the lead lap. This stage we know he's not going to finish on the lead lap, that's guaranteed. You just see how much the car was moving back and forth that time. Gets by Cole Custer. As much as it's moving around, we still have fresher tires than everybody else, and we're still making up time. For now. We got into the back of McLeod just a little bit in turns 1 and 2. He's going to stay on the bottom of the racetrack. Stay on the bottom of the track and don't touch the analog stick as much as I can. Or bobbling around a little bit on the bottom in turns 3 and 4. Third, Corey LaJoy, BG McLeod there. It feels fine on the trial. That's good. Thank God I don't have to deal with it. It's bad enough I have to deal with it on one side of the racetrack. If I had to deal with it on both sides of the track, we'd be in trouble. I'm not turning the car to the right at all, by the way. It literally snaps that direction, and I'm like gradually, and I mean just gradually tapping the analog stick to the left on the back straightaway, trying to make sure it doesn't spin out like it has a few times already. Got one car coming into the pits. That's Garrett Smithley. There's a couple cars on pit road already, so green flag pit stops are starting. And we have 13 laps to go still in stage 2, so it's a little earlier what I would like. Because that's a lot longer. Greg Biffle is going to have to try to hang on these old tires to the end of the stage to try to finish one lap down. Got no traffic directly in front of him or behind him currently. Hopefully it stays that way. I doubt it will, but one can only hope. The car's pitting off turn 4 just up ahead. Omar, thanks for tuning in. NASCAR Cup Series 2311 Racing, thanks for tuning in. I would not recommend buying this game. We have seen its issues today, and a lot of the issues we've seen today actually aren't as bad compared to normal. And we're still in 18th. We could be much worse. There's a reason why I finished 38th or worse in the first 3 races. We'll say that much. Especially in Michigan. I mean, that was a race we could have potentially won. At the very least, we could have had a top 5 finish. Instead, we didn't get anything. A lot of cars coming in at once now onto pit road. It's going to move Greg Biffle back inside the top 10. He's up to 9th place. So he would now up to 7th. There's Harvick 6th. Maybe Biffle is back on the lead lap. I think Greg Biffle is back on the lead lap temporarily. We're okay. It hit the wall, but it didn't wreck that time. And we didn't blow a tire. Somehow. No blown tire. No wreck. Next car, 6 seconds behind us, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. currently. Greg Biffle is up to 4. Somehow he has cycled back on the lead lap from being 3 laps down at one point. If he could somehow finish on the lead lap to the end of the stage, that'd be an utter miracle. I think Harvick is the leader, if I'm not mistaken. There is still a chance we can finish on the lead lap to the end of the stage. But they are going to be hauling the mail around this 2-mile track to try to put Greg Biffle a lap down. I thought I was going to wreck there. This is so scary. Why? Oh my gosh. Forget a horror movie. Just be in this predicament where you're trying not to wreck on the straightaway. I mean, it's loose in the corners, but at least I can drive out of it. The straightaways, it's so sketchy. I have to tap the analog stick to keep it off the wall. If I turn it just a bit too much, I'm spinning out. So, that is what we're dealing with right now through the bumps. Go, McDowell. Oh, I did not want to downshift there. McDowell was creeping on the inside of Biffle. I'm lifting on the backstretch. I don't even care anymore. I need to do what I can to finish on the lead lap right now. Lifting on the back straightaway is not going to be the way to finish on the lead lap. But, I mean, even if we're a lap down at this point, I just need to not wreck again. We did not get a caution earlier in the stage, and we fell 3 laps down. We somehow made up enough time on the fresher tires to get a lap back, and then get both laps back and actually cycle as high as 3rd. Benedetto, Briscoe should be right behind Biffle as well. We're taking the bottom lane all the way down the backstretch into turns 3 and 4. Briscoe gets by on the outside at speed, fresher tires. Biffle still in 4th. I mean, we can get a top 10 finish in the stage. We're going to lose a couple spots here. Blaney, Suarez, Reddick all for position behind Biffle. 3rd of a tank of gas left. Should be able to make it, though. We only have... Oh, man. We still have 9 laps to go in the stage. My gosh. 9 laps to go in stage 2. Suarez gets by for position. Reddick, Larson, Elliott. There are more cars, by the way, on the lead lap now than what there was. I think drivers that short pitted during this green flag run. Contact with Gilliland. Biffle hangs on. Gilliland in 25th. He's definitely not on the lead lap. Biffle's going to pull outside the top 10 here once Eric Jones gets around him. Jones still 4 seconds back, but we'll get there. Well, maybe it'll be Busher. Busher just passed Jones for 11th. Biffle downshifting in the middle of the corner. He's slowing up so much. So off the pace. These old tires. There's no way he's going to finish on the lead lap to the end of the stage. He was right behind the leaders, but he's got to pick the pace up if he's going to finish on the lead lap. And we still have 7 laps to go. That's 14 miles around this track, and we are going so slow right now. There's a tap into the wall. Biffle gets loose. Hangs on to it. Still hanging. He's still sideways. Hang on, we're good. Oh my God. Six to go at the line. Yeah, there are a lot of cars that got back on the lead lap this stage. I don't know how many cars are behind me, but however many there are, get around me. No, don't. I'm not even turning the car. Another hit into the wall. How are we still in the lead lap? 5 laps to go at the line. The leaders are going to have 4 to go. Start finish line this time by Brad Keselowski 6 seconds back. He's the 17th place car. Biffle's hit the wall twice now over the last few laps on the back straightaway. Luckily did not blow a tire both times. Next car's Noah Gregson behind him. Keselowski still 4.5 seconds back. J.J. Yaley 6 seconds back yet, the 55. There's a chance Biffle could still finish on the lead lap here to the end of the stage. I didn't think it was possible with how slow he is running, but I think this track is just big enough that is still possible. He's going to have to try to find a way to pick up the pace a little bit. He's going to make it on fuel, even pitting a couple laps earlier than what he wanted to. Gregson stuck behind him right now. Biffle going to let the 62 go on the outside. Keselowski is about 1.5 seconds back now. Timmy Hill, J.J. Yaley. I would not be surprised if the leaders were stuck behind those two that are 3 seconds behind where Greg Biffle is at on the track right now. Keselowski a full second back. Biffle desperately trying to hang on to the lead lap in 16th place. He'll get passed for position by Keselowski. That is a certainty. The leaders, when they got to the line that last time, only have 2 laps to go in stage 2. Biffle sliding up almost into Keselowski, who had to check up behind him. Lifting on the backstretch, keep the car pinned down to the bottom. Here comes Timmy Hill. Kyle Busch is there also. And there was a big moment there for Biffle where he had to catch the car. Here come the leaders. There's Harvick and Truex right behind him. Harvick to the lead. Christopher Bell's there. So close to the end of this stage. This is the final lap of stage 2 for the leaders. Can he somehow finish on the lead lap? There's no chance. Kevin Harvick has just lapped Biffle on the final lap of the stage. Biffle had to just last one more lap. Harvick now quickly pulling away from Truex and Bell. Harvick can coast it now. He knows he's going to finish on a lap down here to the end of the stage. So close. Well, we got 2 laps back. Going to be a lap down. We're going to pit during the stage break. Kevin Harvick will win his first stage of the season at Auto Club at his home track. Unbelievable. I mean, that was so close. So close. Last lap. I obviously made some mistakes in there. A lot of them were not my fault. I mean, the car was so terrible to drive. Kevin Harvick wins the stage. He finished 2nd in stage 2, so big points day so far for the Ford team, trying to go for their first win of the young season. Martin Truex Jr. finishes 2nd after winning stage 1, so they inverted, both scoring 19 stage points. Christopher Bell finishes 3rd in the stage. Ryan Blaney 4th. Daniel Suarez 5th. Kyle Larson 6th. Tyler Reddick in 7th. Chase Elliott 8th. Alex Bowman 9th. And Eric Jones will round out the top 10, all getting stage points in stage 2. Well, now we go into the final stage. We're going to pit for 4 tires and fuel. We will be a lap down. Even though I think I was the first car lap down, it doesn't matter. No free pass in this game, unfortunately. It's going to be 4 tires and fuel for Greg Biffle. I want fresh tires so badly, and now he's going to have to try to make all this time right back up again. Should be able to make this on 1 pit stop. He's going to have to stretch it out. He's going to have to be on old tires again, but everybody else is going to end up pitting twice. We'll see. Farmboy 2, thanks for tuning in. That will be 28th. Everybody from 29th on back would be 2 laps down then. 70 laps, final stage, Auto Club Speedway. The Wise Power 400, green flag back in the air. And Greg Biffle on fresh tires going to have to go. He's going to have to get through this field as quickly as he can. He's got probably, what, 13 lap pressure tires, 14 lap pressure tires. Allmendinger in the wall off turn 2. I'm so used to the car being on old tires, I'm driving so low thinking the car's going to float all the way to the wall. It's not going to do that this early in the run. Contact between the 51 and 62 in turns 3 and 4. Let half of his car down the apron in 3-4, trying to give himself as much room as possible. You have to be a bit more aggressive, trying to get past everybody. I mean, he's going to wear his tires out trying to do this, but he's got to do it. Big dive all the way on the apron for Biffle. Almost made contact with the 62. I thought he was going to with how sharp he entered into the corner. Passed a few cars. How much they pulled away from him, though. That's how much he had to lift in the center of the corner to keep it off the 62, and he lost a lot of momentum as a result. Gets him right back, though, in 1 and 2 on the other end of the track. And now he ends up clearing him. So we know there's only 17 cars on the lead lap. Surprised that 9 of which were able to get their laps back in the last stage. Again, it's a one-stop strategy, though, for Greg Biffle versus 2 for everybody else. On the apron in turns 1 and 2, trying to hold it. I think he's lucky he's got fresher tires, because otherwise I don't think that was going to hold. Definitely didn't get off the corner very well. Committed to trying to clear Keselowski. Brad gonna let him in line. Be a nice friend there. Biffle spent his entire career at Roush Fenway Racing before coming to New York Racing for a part-time deal last season. Of course, Keselowski now running for Roush, rebranded RFK. Keselowski having the ownership. Middle corner is really where Biffle's able to get a lot of this time back. Made his way to 19th. Ross Chastain's the only lap car that's still in front of him. Oh no! Denny Hamlin gets turned. Kurt Busch hooked the 44 into the 11, and Hamlin goes around on the front stretch. There's no caution. We stay green. Oh, Kurt Busch just wrecked his boss. I mean, he hooked us perfectly right into Denny Hamlin. Hamlin goes into the grass on the front stretch. We stay green. There's no caution. And the wall kind of saved me from wrecking, honestly. And again, Biffle somehow doesn't blow a tire. Oh, we blew a left rear earlier, so I'm not going to say it's impossible to blow a tire, but... Trying to come back from that blown left rear. Biffle was 3 down. He's still 1 lap down. Tough break for Denny Hamlin. I think he was on the lead lap. Biffle's car's gotten extremely tight after getting into the wall. And now he's in the wall again, and around he goes. Austin Dillon, and there goes Biffle, and his tires are shot now. If they were before, oh, now they're really wrecking. Now we really got a wreck. We're not going to get, there's the caution. Holy hellacia. was like, are we ever going to get a caution? Yes, we did. Yellow flag is out. We are still 1 lap down. And this is now our 7th caution of the race at the Auto Club Speedway. We do have a couple cars on pit road, other than Biffle. Cody Ware pitted, maybe JJ Yaley also. That'll be interesting for Cody Ware. Green flag back in the air. Yeah, the car got extremely tight after that contact. From Kurt Busch into the wall, and Biffle ended up in the wall himself off the exit of turn 4. And around they went on the front stretch. Luckily, we crossed the start-finish line before the caution came out. Can't say the same for everybody, but we are still 1 lap down. And again, Biffle on fresh tires, trying to make this time back up. "15 laps into the final stage." That was a tight squeeze for Greg Biffle. 3 wide on the bottom. Motivates his way around more traffic. Somebody brushes the wall off turn 2 just up ahead. You can tell who it was. Oh, Biffle's going to get back on the lead lap. How have we not wrecked all the speed out of the race car? I know I have fresher tires, but even with fresher tires to be this competitive. Biffle giving Austin Dillon plenty of room. William Byron drafting behind the 44. Pulls back into the outside before entering into turns 3 and 4. Biffle with all 4 tires down to the apron as he goes 3 wide. Trying not to make contact to cause these tires any major harm. Wallace in the middle. Just kept it off Joey Logano. Biffle has to go back to being smart again. Everything that's happened, he's lucky to still be in the race and not DNF like he did in the first 3 races. This car is indestructible. I think our race winnings from the Bristol Night Racer. They spend it on the durability department of this next-gen chassis. Reddick in the wall. It's going to stall out the outside. And I thought for a second, Chastain rather, I almost said Suarez. Chastain was going to try to take it 4 wide. He was kind of boxed in to be able to do it, though. Greg Biffle with a big dive bomb. Finds a hole, slided line. He's 18th. He's the first car 1 lap down. Mentioned it time and time again. There's no free pass this game. We do have a side-by-side battle for the race lead at the very front of the field. A lot of room for Biffle to get by Eric Jones, Alex Bowman. At this point in the run, he can sit behind Kyle Larson. Oh my gosh, maybe not. He got floaty. Somewhat controllable. And now the dive on the fresh tires into turns 3 and 4. Gets by a couple more cars. Just gets to the inside of Truex. Chase Elliott, by the way, is leading this race now. Trying to become the first Hendrick driver to win a race this season. Biffle gets by Truex. Right behind Christopher Bell. Top 2, both winless. Truex with a massive run to the outside. We'll just trying to get out of harm's way, really. And he'll get back to the lead lap in turns 3 and 4. So he's back on the lead lap. Still looking at everybody having to pit twice. Biffle going to have to pit once. He'll be able to make this lap back up to take the lead again. It's just a matter of what can he do while being on fresher tires. I mean, that's really what it boils down to. He's got to make up as much time as he can right now before everybody pits. They all pitted with about 13 to go for the most part in stage 3. We're 20 laps into this stage, so they're about 33 laps on their tires. They're going to be pitting really any given moment. So it's good that Biffle was able to get around them when he did. And we'll see if we stay green through the next cycle of green flag pit stops. Yeah, sure, I broke the game. This game was broken before I even bought it. Before I pre-ordered it. Rest in pieces to anybody who pre-ordered this game. That was not money well spent. Did it for the clout. 49 laps to go. Chase Elliott and the rest of the leaders stay out of the pits that last lap. Short pitting could get some drivers their way back to the lead. And for Greg Biffle in this 44 for New York Racing, after everything that has transpired today and being 3 laps down, there is still a chance to win this race despite being 3 laps down at one point. Now that he's back on the lead lap with less than 50 laps left. What channel I watched the throwback? There's a bunch of different ones. I put it in the description, whatever video I end up watching that week. Or whoever's channel I end up watching that race on that week, I'll put it in the description. We've got cars on pit road. Elliott's still on the track right now. It looks like the cars behind him will pit, but Elliott going to stay out at least one more lap. Biffle up to 15th. Gonna surpass 14 more cars yet. And then he'll be on older tires. Try to nurse it as long as he possibly can. Can't nurse it long enough to wreck this time. If I feel like I'm gonna wreck, I have to bring it in. I mean, the longer I go, the better, obviously, but I mean, this is it. We're in the final stage now. There's no coming back from being a lap down again. Biffle to 9th. Alex Bowman out in front. He still has to pit, though. A lot of other cars just stayed out. Biffle up to 9th place. Chastain in 10th also has to pit. He's on the same lap as Biffle, which was 1 lap down at the start of stage 3. Nate through the different camera angles for the final time in today's race. Biffle back in the top 5, up to 4th. Yeah, King Corvo 88. I know Smith TV's another one. NASCAR All Out. We haven't watched any on this guy's channel, but Dave W. has a lot of old races. Biffle to the lead for the second time today, and the first time since the middle going of stage 2. when he was on a similar strategy but couldn't have it play out the way he wanted to. Will it play out this time for him to get the win? Everybody has to pit one more time, Biffle included, to the end of this race. These guys that just pitted will not be able to go 45 laps on fuel and tires to the end of this race. So now that Biffle is on older tires, waiting for the rest of the leaders back behind him to try to run him down and win the stage. Or win the race, I guess, in this final stage. And remember, because of how bad the points are for Biffle compared to especially everybody else who has won so far, and the fact he's still outside the top 20 in points, a second win will lock him into the playoffs. 2 wins will lock him in. Ryan Blaney in second. Definitely starting to get floaty again on that back straightaway. You get 15 laps in a run, it just flips immediately in the wrong direction. The fact that I was able to go over 30 laps earlier is absurd, honestly. Looking back on it. That 12th car, Brian Blaney, closing in on his fresher tires, trying to get to Biffle. Biffle just trying to manage everything he can. He's got a lot of clean air in front of him. Still 3.5 seconds as Blaney off the lead. Kurt Busch in third. Kurt's about another handful of seconds at least behind the 12. Ryan Blaney would pick up his second win. It wouldn't be a new winner if Blaney goes to victory lane today. How far does Biffle try to nurse the race car? Even if Blaney gets around him, how much further do you want to go before you pit again? Not if, I should say when Blaney gets around him. Blaney will get to him here very shortly. Just under a second off the lead. There's the 12. Biffle continues to lead this race. Almost halfway through the stage. Into turns 1 and 2. Here comes the 12. Looking to the bottom of the racetrack. Biffle gonna stay in front of him, at least for a little bit longer. Protecting the bottom down into turn 3. Blaney to the outside. Biffle slides the car a little wide in the center of the corner. He stays in front of Blaney. Once again, Blaney going low. Biffle with a block. Oh no! He wrecks again on the front stretch. Blaney to the race lead. Caution flag is out. Oh my gosh. I don't know if he got turned. The car hasn't turned like that. I wonder if I might have blocked him and I turned myself off his front bumper. Because the car has not turned right like that on the front stretch all day. It's only been on the back stretch. But we have a caution for the second time in the final stage. That's going to trap a lot of cars a lap down, by the way, because I don't know how many of the leaders actually crossed the start-finish line when the caution came out. Obviously, Blaney Biffle were around. Maybe Kurt Busch in third was. But I really have zero clue exactly how many cars were ahead. But we have yet another yellow flag. Again, second of the final stage. Fourth time Biffle's been the initiator in the caution. I don't think we can make it to the end of the race for now. We still had a little over half the stage left. We're going to restart with about 31 laps to go, and only the top 3 cars are going to be on the lead lap with 31 laps left. I should say 32. 32 laps to go. Biffle's got to go. He's got to get back up to Ryan Blaney and Kurt Busch, who are 1-2 at the front of the field. He's got fresher tires now, but how much more damage does he have slowing him up? I mean, we've locked ourselves into a top 3 with that. It feels cheap, but it is what it is. It's going to be tough, though, to get through all this traffic first to get to the 45 and the 12, and when do they pit? I mean, we're going to have to pit with them. We have to pit with Ryan Blaney and Kurt Busch, because otherwise we'll just be giving up too much time. So we have to try to take advantage of the fresh tires we have now up until then and really try to run them down. I mean, we can push hard now to the end. There's no saving tires anymore. There is no saving tires at the end of this race. You have got to go. Problem is, Biffle's not going. Stuck in traffic. Massive checkup off turn 2. I think Biffle finally wrecked the speed out of the car. Potentially. He's not really passing anybody. 3 wide right in front of him. Biffle gonna take it 4 wide. Even for a split second it was 4 wide. Back down to 3 wide though. Protecting the bottom on Chase Briscoe. Biffle's so low on his entrance into the corner. Gets into Cindric. Overcorrects it back into the wall. The right front tire is down on this 44. He has crashed again. And the caution flag is out again. That is unbelievable. It's turning into a wreck fest here today. I'm only pitting for right sides, no fuel. I don't want to keep taking tires. I feel like, because now we're inside the fuel window. And if the rest of the leaders don't pit, that'd be an unfair advantage. So I'm just going to take the right side because I blew the right front when I hit the wall. There's another car on pit road. I couldn't tell who it was. Cody Ware, I believe, would have been in the pits for 19th. Green flag back in the air again. And we're down to just 22 laps to go at Auto Club Speedway. And everybody gonna have to pit one more time yet. Sloppy finish to the race. Trying to get there nonetheless. When will we see drivers pit? Trying to make it to the end. Greg Biffle get up to where Ryan Blaney and Kurt Busch are. Oh my gosh, bump draft gone wrong there. The back straightaway with Timmy Hill and Cody Ware. Somehow Biffle didn't wreck after making contact with the 51. JJ Yaley trying to pit. He stalls out in the outside lane. I don't know if he actually got onto pit road or not. He was trying to pit. $20 to go. I think if you're Greg Biffle, you have to consider pitting maybe even right now just to try to cycle out ahead of everybody else. You're only racing 2 drivers for the win at this point. Worst case scenario, you finish third even further back than what you are right now. Stay out at least one more lap. No drafting help around him. 19 laps to go at Auto Club. Yeah, this car is definitely damaged now. Hey, I've said that a few times today, and it hasn't actually been as damaged as I thought it was going to be. And no, it's totaled. It is absolutely totaled right now. I'm topping off at 173 miles an hour at Auto Club going into the corner. It is not right. We'll stay now. Maybe we see another caution. He can pit under the yellow. 4 tires and fuel. But there is a thought. No, I'm not gonna do it. I can't stay out to the end, even if I can make it on fuel. I will if everybody else does. But if everybody else pits, I'm gonna pit, because I caused all those cautions. I really don't deserve to win this race. As much as we're fighting from behind. This car's been junk. But I've made a couple mistakes. Those last 2 spins were definitely on me. The first 3 before that, on the other hand, I'm not going to blame myself. I'm going to blame how terrible this car is on the straightaway. But throwing that bad block in the tri-oval for the lead at the time on Blaney and turning myself obviously that was a mistake on my behalf. And overdriving the corner leading to the contact in which I spun the last caution was definitely on me as well. I mean, honestly, with all these cautions, they may make it to the end. We'll be racing NASCAR 22 once again tomorrow. And we will start that stream at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that will be at New Hampshire. A 50% race at New Hampshire, nonetheless. Be sure to tune in for that one. It'll be our 6th race of the custom schedule season on NASCAR 22. So no stage points today for Greg Biffle. 3rd place finish though. Gonna try to make the most out of what was pretty much a bad day. It's not a bad finish. AJ Yaley and Cole Custer getting around on fresh tires. I think Custer might have gotten held up when Yaley pitted. Yaley definitely on fresh tires in the 55. Nobody on pit road that time. 14 laps to go now. The Auto Club Speedway. Way too tight there. I thought I was going to end up in the wall. Another car pitting just up ahead. A lot of cars on pit road. Greg Biffle up to 2nd. So one of the leaders are in the pits. I think if you're Greg Biffle, you come in this time. You might as well. Or I come in after everybody just because they're going to check up. Maybe we get a caution. Not a lot of cars on pit road this time. Biffle coming in hot. And he is down to pit road speed at the commitment line. So 4 tires and fuel for Greg Biffle. Final stop of the day. Kurt Busch is in the same time as Greg Biffle. Kurt Busch is not that far ahead of the 44. Ryan Blaney would have been the first car on pit road a lap before the 45, so we'll see if he can cycle out here. This is going to be interesting. Communist Legos, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully we have a good finish to what was kind of a sloppy final stage. My bad on that one. Kurt Busch leaving pit road up ahead. He's definitely going to leave the pits. I mean, Biffle was so far behind them, that was going to happen. Maybe he gets up to speed sooner. I mean, it's pretty much a 3rd place finish. It would have been close on fuel, but I wasn't going to risk it because I caused a bunch of caution. It's in this stage, which ended up trapping only 3 cars on the lead lap, so it wouldn't have really felt right. Honestly, winning the race on fuel mileage like that, I'd rather try to race these guys at least. Kyle Busch leads for now. I mean, the big thing is if we get a caution. These green flag pit stops already going on. Greg Biffle currently 13th. The race is between Ryan Blaney and Kurt Busch. I would like to think Blaney is the leader. Simply pitting a lap before Kurt. There's so much tire fall off on a long green flag run here. But again, you never know. All the way down to the apron. Back inside the top 10. 10 laps to go. up to 4th. Kurt Busch is 3rd, so that means Ryan Blaney will be the leader once whoever's in the lead right now hits pit road. Will we stay green to the end of the race? Had 3 cautions in the final stage. Honestly, we've had 3 cautions in every stage so far today, so this is in a race of 9 cautions. And if we see a 10th, that would force us into a late race restart. If it happened right now, we'd still have a little more than 2 to go, so it wouldn't necessarily be overtime. Or we get down close to that point. William Byron just ran Ryan Blaney. Byron just ran Biffle into the wall of the back straightaway for no apparent reason, leaving pit road. We didn't deserve that, did we? Sun is taking forever to set. Yeah, Cody Ware is leading this race right now. He pitted during one of the cautions earlier. Is Cody Ware going to win this race on fuel mileage? I didn't think anybody could make it pitting during the second to last yellow, because that's when he pitted. Blaney is in second, trying to run him down on fresh tires. No clue where Cody Ware is at on the track. I can't pay him back. He's got fresher tires than me. He's pulling away. Well, fresher tires, and my car's just absolutely total, if you couldn't tell. It is not very fast. Maybe he's mad at me for trapping him a lap down with the scoring glitch due to a caution I caused. Wonder if it's possible Kyle Busch catches us for position, how slow we are. I mean, the thing is, I was slow at the end of stage 2 when I lost a lap, but that was because the old tire's not damaged. So at least I still have handling. There's just no speed. I should say the handling is tight now, but there's enough grip that I can stay in the gas for a longer period of time. So my lap time is therefore a little bit quicker than what it was at the end of stage 2 when I was just on old tires. So Cody Ware in the 51 trying to win the race on fuel mileage. Well, that would definitely be our 5th different winner in the first 5 races. We have 2 underfunded teams getting a win in the first 5 races back-to-back, with Biffle winning at Bristol. And Ware trying to win at Auto Club. And a full race nonetheless. What an utter miracle this would be if he could make it on fuel. I mean, we'll know if he's on pit road once he is, if he does pit. Because Biffle would definitely pass it for position. 5 laps to go. Imagine Cody Ware actually does make it on fuel, but Blaney catches him anyway and he doesn't win. Fuel conservation mode for Cody Ware at the Auto Club Speedway. We want to talk about the upset of the century. Cody Ware might win on an intermediate. Biffle backing out. He's just going to let Larson go. He's got nobody directly behind him. This is insane. The second driver. Oh no, he's on pit road, I think. There is a car on pit road. 3 to go. He could have been a lap ahead of us. I don't know. There was somebody on pit road, though. I don't think it was Cody Ware, because we are still at 4th. Kyle Busch is only 6 seconds behind us. I might want to pick the pace up a little bit here. Not that I can. I don't think he's going to get to us. Two to go at the line. Kyle about a half a second quicker than Biffle that last lap, so definitely not quick enough to catch him before the end of the race. 2 laps to go at the Auto Club Speedway. Cody Ware trying to win this race on fuel mileage. I'm pulling for him. Final lap. Assuming it's still him that leads. Can Ryan Blaney and or Kurt Busch run him down? For the second straight race, Greg Biffle going to finish on the lead lap. And it should be back-to-back top 5 finishes for him at least. No stage points today, though, to show for. Got the lead on multiple occasions, though. Still 3 seconds ahead of Kyle Busch. I'd assume the checkered flag would have to be flying right now. Ryan Blaney is the leader, by the way. I just saw it on the leaderboard. He caught Cody Ware before Ware could even make it on fuel to the end. Oh, man. So I do think Cody Ware made it on fuel to the end of the race. Unless he's in the back half of pit road right now, which is not the case. Biffle's still got to finish 4th. Cody Ware made it on gas, but Ryan Blaney still caught him on fresh tires, wins the race. Ware finishes 3rd, 6 seconds off the lead, so he must have lost the lead with 2 or 3 laps to go then. But Blaney gets the win, Kurt Busch 2nd, Cody Ware career high though, 3rd place. He almost pulled off an upset. He made it on fuel, but he just couldn't quite manage the fuel and the gap he had over Blaney and Busch with the fresh tires. And how about that? It looks like a photo finish between Ryan Blaney and Kurt Busch for the win. 85 hundredths of a second was all the margin of victory, so pretty good finish at the front of the field. Kurt's so close to getting himself in the playoffs, and not quite. Ryan Blaney wins his 2nd race in the first 5 this season. At least we brought home 4th. 4th place finish for Greg Biffle, 29 seconds off the lead, but a lead lap finish nonetheless, despite all the shenanigans that went on during the race. Kyle Busch finishes in 5th, Mark Truex Jr. 6th, Christopher Bell 7th, Justin Haley 8th after starting on the pole. Good day for him. He was the first car lap down. We had just 7 finish on the lead lap. Elliott Sadler 9th, Joey Logano rounds out the top 10 today. So, there's the top 10. I mean, I'll take it. I don't really deserve it, but I'll take it. And we have 1 DNF, Eric Almirola, on lap 117. Had some sort of an issue. Denny Hamlin spun on the front stretch earlier, didn't get a caution. He finished 36 as a result. That's unfortunate for him. I don't know how Bubba Wallace and Austin Dillon were that far off the pace, but they were. They've finished 10 laps now. And yeah, that's kind of wrap that part of it up. Take some screenshots here before the end so I can calculate the points. There we go. Alrighty. Well, thanks for everybody tuning in once again. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Back-to-back top 5 to start the week. We're going to try to go for 3 in a row tomorrow at New Hampshire. Hopefully we can get back into victory lane here. Still sitting at 4 different winners. Ryan Blaney, our first repeat winner of the season, winning races number 2 and 5. And, yeah, we'll see. Cody Ware almost pulled off the upset today. Will we see somebody else potentially pull off an upset tomorrow at New Hampshire? That's just a 50% race. 151 laps is all the distance. That will start at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Won't want to miss a lap. Thanks, everybody. Have a good rest of your Tuesday night, and I will see you back better than ever again tomorrow.